Okay, let's talk about writing a research report. You've done all the hard work, you've got the data, but turning all of that into a polished, professional document, yeah, that can feel like a huge mountain to climb. So let's dive in and build a solid foundation together.
You know that feeling, right? Just staring at that blinking cursor on a blank page, wondering, where do I even start? The structure, the style, all those academic rules, it can be totally overwhelming. But what if you had a blueprint?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to break this whole process down into a clear, manageable plan. Seriously, think of this as the architectural drawing for your report. It's going to guide you from the ground up. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll tackle the why, the real purpose of a report. Then, we'll get into the specific writing style you need to master. After that, we'll look at the actual blueprint, the structure, and then zoom right in on how to write a killer introduction. And we'll wrap it all up with some super important do's and don'ts.
All right, first things first. Why are we even writing these things? I mean, it's way more than just an assignment you have to turn in to get a grade. A good research report is a crucial piece of the scientific conversation.
Your report really has three main jobs. The first one is simple, to communicate. You've got to share what you did and what you found. The second is to let others evaluate your work. People need to be able to look at your methods and see if they hold up to scrutiny. And the third one, and this is the big one, is to allow for replication. This is the bedrock of science. You have to give people enough details so they can do your experiment themselves and build on what you've learned.
Okay, so we know the why. Now let's get into the how. Scientific writing is its own unique language. This isn't your creative writing class. It's not about being entertaining or using flowery prose. It's all about precision and clarity. And this slide really lays it all out. You know, other types of writing can be subjective, full of opinions, and designed to entertain. But scientific writing, it's the exact opposite. It's objective, packed with facts, super structured, and every single word has to be concise and precise. No fluff allowed.
And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. Your goal is to provide objective information, period. It's not about expressing your opinions or telling a thrilling story. You let the data and the research do the talking.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? 4 key things. First, try to avoid I or we. It's not about you, it's about the research. Second, you have to cite your sources for everything. Show that your work is built on what came before. Third, be precise. No slang, no vague language. And finally, be parsimonious, which is just a fancy way of saying be thrifty with your words. Give all the necessary info in as few words as you possibly can.
Okay, let's get to the actual blueprint. You know, just like a house needs a foundation, walls, and a roof in a specific order, a research report has a standard structure that everyone recognizes and expects.
This is the standard playbook. It all starts with a clear title, followed by an abstract, which is like the too long, didn't read summary of the whole paper. Then you have the introduction, which sets the stage. The method section is your recipe, exactly what you did. The results section is just the facts, no interpretation yet. And finally, you get to the discussion and references, where you explain what your results mean and connect them back to other research. Stick to this and you're golden.
Now, we're going to zoom in on one of the most important sections, the introduction. And here's a little secret weapon for you, the funnel analogy. The idea is to start really broad and then systematically narrow your focus down to a single point.
And seriously, don't sleep on the introduction. The source material calls it the main pillar of the whole report. It's your chance to tell the reader why this research matters, to give them the whole rationale for why you did it.
So how's this funnel work? Well, at the very top, the widest part, you start broad. You're at the 30,000-foot view here. You introduce the general topic and convince the reader why anyone should even care about this area of study.
Then you start to narrow things down. You zoom in a bit. This is where you review the important literature that's already out there. You're building a logical bridge from past research to your own project and showing what question still hasn't been answered. You're identifying the gap.
And finally, bam, you get to the very tip of the funnel. This is where you become crystal clear. You state the specific problem you're tackling, how you plan to do it, and you lay out your exact hypothesis. By the end of the intro, the reader should know precisely what you're setting out to prove.
So here's your final acid test for the intro. Once you've written it, read it over and ask yourself these questions. If a reader can easily find the answers to all of them, you've absolutely nailed it. You've built a rock-solid foundation.
All right, we're in the home stretch now. Let's talk about some of those little details that really give your report that final, professional polish. And a lot of it comes down to the language you choose.
This one is absolutely non-negotiable in scientific writing. Your language has to be free from bias. That means no gender bias, no ethnic bias, none of it. It's a sign of objectivity and respect, which are right at the core of good research.
And here are some fantastic, super clear examples. Instead of man or mankind, just use people. An easy trick to avoid gendered pronouns is to make your subjects plural, so you can use they. And this one is so important. Always put the person first. They are people diagnosed with OCD, not obsessive compulsives. The condition doesn't define them. These details really matter.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? A scientific report is a structured, objective document that does those three key things we talked about at the beginning. It communicates your research, it allows others to evaluate it, and it enables them to replicate it. That's the whole ballgame.
And there you have it. That's the blueprint. From understanding its purpose to mastering the style and the structure, you've got the tools. So you can stop staring at that blinking cursor with dread and start building with confidence.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Now that you have the blueprint, what's the very first brick you're going to lay? Are you going to start outlining that funnel for your introduction? Or maybe just write down a killer title? Think about it, and then go build something brilliant.